Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown. Tots so good. Tots so good.
Div Nation, it's Dave. Welcome to the Too Much Dip Podcast. Live in the Washed Media Studios. Having fun today. I'm going to host, if that's cool with everybody. Is that cool with you?
I'm okay with it.
That's Dylan Shivery here in studio with me.
Have you ever, and I just want to see how relatable this is. Have you ever eaten tater tots and then thought to yourself, like, these are so good, they deserve a touchdown?
Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown.
Yeah, I have actually.
Okay, I thought so. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
It's just like once, it's the juxtaposition
Between-
of the soft potato with the crispy outer layer that's
Oh.
deep fried. And sometimes like the only way to express that is via touchdown.
I've had some that are like decent. They deserve like maybe like a first down or like a 15-yard, like, you know, out.
Like in and out fries. Those are like 3 and out.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are stuffed at the goal line fries.
Mm-hmm.
But like sometimes you get a tot and it's like pay dirt.
Yeah, this
You know what
Tots
I mean?
a game changer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
it's like a 60-yard field goal to win the game. Speaking of 60-yard field goals to win the game, joining us for the first time in the new-ish stew, live from Madison, KJ.
I'm so happy to see I'm not the only one on the podcast with wood now.
Excuse me?
Huh.
Oh, you're talking. Okay,
It's reclaimed.
it did belong to somebody else. They claimed it, and then we were like, wait a minute, we should have that wood, and so we claimed it after
Well,
them.
we went before the king, and he asked that we both state our claims
Yeah,
to this wood.
and it was awarded to us.
It was awarded to us with no bloodshed. Fair and square.
Well,
What's
I
up?
think it's an appropriate way to celebrate National Indigenous Peoples Day. Welcome to spooky season for myself. Again, it's my first episode with you fellas in the month of October, in the studio at least. So just all around posy vibes. I'd like to first commend Dylan for bypassing the opportunity to say 15-yard comeback because he paused. I was thinking the same exact one. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go with out route.
Yeah, I didn't want to use comeback because I know that you guys would have just perped out on it so hard.
So the audio
My-
you heard to kick off this pod, I don't know if, KJ, this is a fairly recent development. You've seen these NIL deals these college kids are getting?
I'm aware.
Well, I said I'd retire if that ever happened, but that didn't happen. Well, that's a Quinn, Ewers, Xavier Worthy?
Yes, they look like they're co-sponsor, or they're actually that's the other way around. They're sponsored by Sonic, also roommates too, by the way. Those two.
Okay.
Yeah, Sonic dropped the NIL bag. Quinn and Xavier, and they crushed the video.
It's truly one. It's so like, the so bad it's good that gets thrown around a lot, but the video is really a heaping pile of shit.
The audio's terrible. They're
It's-
trying to act, and they're just
Well, the audio is like
yeah.
it's insanely bad. It's like they put in no effort.
It's like they just mounted an iPhone on the dashboard of the car, and they played some music over it. I don't know. It's not great, but look, it gets the job done. And I'm gonna go get an ocean water after the podcast. Is what I'm trying to say.
Water, big ocean water, KJ.
So it was self-produced.
It
Like,
appeared
was this
so.
meant to be first party content or whatever?
If it was third party produced, then they need to turn their credentials in or something.
I don't know what the regulations are for like the University of Texas social media person to be able to like video that. But if that was someone associated in any way,
There's
shape,
no
or
way.
form outside of a player, they need their credentials revoked. I'm not saying lose their job, but they need to at least be like, they need to go through a training seminar.
Use a lav mic one time, Randy. Randy liked that one.
Yeah, Randy gets it.
Anyway.
do we know for sure that this is not Cool Datum? Because I've been seeing a lot of him on the TL. And
he would never.
Nothing would lead me to think that this was his level of work. This doesn't sound like his work.
His fingerprints would not be on something so poor. So no.
What was the tweet of the weekend from Cool Adam?
I was hoping you were going to fill us in with it.
Hang on. It was
Something about spooky season or Halloween. He said it do be hitting.
He said something about Halloween this year be hitting.
He's not wrong.
Which, like, you know, we've been thinking that. We haven't really shared it, to my knowledge, publicly. But, yeah, I mean, there is just something going on that be hitting this year specifically.
No.
Man, I hope he's having a hell of a Halloween.
Oh, it's hitting.
It is hitting. It sounds like it is.
Yeah, that's all I have. I will not bring too much attention to what's going on our dip picks this year. But I do want to say, again, it's an honor to be competing with such combatants as yourselves. We're making me
very easy on you.
Give my all. Really turn into my best year yet.
Dip picks, of course, all lines we gather from our good friends at DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
That's true.
So check it out. Check out DraftKings. Use code WASHED. Use code WASHED. You'll get $200 instantly when you bet $5 on any football game. Check out the show notes for details. And that, my friends, is added value. Yeah, you are doing quite well, KJ. We saw one of your 12 posts over the last 2 days.
Very cool, KJ. Very cool. Man.
What'd you do yesterday? Did you go 6-2 all weekend, or
7-2 on the weekend?
Shouts
to the Bengals for closing that out with that field goal that eliminated the opportunity for the Ravens to win by 3 and/or push. That was a really good feeling. But yes, people have noted in a couple of my responses that the number of tweets about dip picks seems to be at all-time highs when I'm doing well.
Yeah.
And in fact, yes, they absolutely will be.
Well, shout out to the guest for the first time missed the big boy stack, which is huge for me, huge for all of us, really, but mainly me.
I had a poor overall record.
I'm coming for that ass.
Did hit the big boy stack. I hit the big boy stack by 40 points, by the way. Didn't see that coming, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Man, if only
y'all had your big boy stacks in the bag like in the first quarter on both sides. I was like, yeah, it's going to be ugly.
I knew Tennessee was good, but I feel like I have not been giving them proper credit because they are, I think they're slowly working their way up the Brett Merriman might be sneaky good list to like is actually very good. Like an absolute problem good.
Of course, coached by all-time trash bod Josh Heupel.
Okay. This feels like there's other things you could use to describe him.
You going to go after
Kind of
him
looks
next?
like Chip Kelly bod Josh Heupel. Is that a better description?
Okay.
I'll take Chip Kelly's bod all day over Josh Heupel's. No offense. Well, that's quite offensive, I understand. Sorry.
Do we, in what way do we want to be insufferable today? Because there's a couple of different directions. Because as many are aware, the University of Texas defeated the Sooners of Oklahoma via shutout, 49-0 at the Cotton Bowl. We could start there, or the Dallas Football Cowboys, KJ, went into L.A., took down the Super Bowl champion L.A. Rams. We don't have to start either of those. Or I'll give you a third option. This is a real choose-your-own adventure in honor of our friend Brett. Texas State Bobcats, one of the biggest upsets in the history of Little San Marcos.
I heard a lot of booty chatter, or I read actually, to be more accurate, booty chatter on Twitter saying that maybe Texas State's better than Texas A&M as they beat the team that beat Texas A&M.
Do you believe in the transitive property?
Not all the times. Not all the time.
Only when it's convenient.
But right now, I certainly do.
Only when it's good banter.
Sure. Eat them up.
Look, it was a good weekend in football. There was a lot that went down. But KJ, I'm gonna let you, since you're back. You look refreshed. You look like a guy who's in Dallas for a week. Happy birthday, belated, but happy birthday nonetheless.
Happy birthday, KJ.
I hope you got some tots.
Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown.
don't know if I scooped any Tots, but I wish I got some from Sonic. That's the one place I didn't hit.
That's how good the Tots are, KJ.
No place.
I don't know why you don't understand it.
No
man.
place hops like Sonic.
They're so good.
All they had to do was take the two of them and FaceTime the other two guys who rode around in cars and ate Sonic that were like 10 years running the best things on commercial.
Those guys were good.
And I'd be in for it. Yeah, college football is definitely bringing me to the point where I can say them Bobcats might give old Spavital a chance to keep his job.
Dude, signature win for Spav.
I thought that was impressive. And so they beat Appalachian State. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this.
19 and a half point dogs.
Beat them by 10.
Exactly.
I think.
As I was digging through that, I was like, well, how good was Appalachian State? This is their third loss on the year. Obviously, they beat Texas A&M. That led me to say, who else won that weekend? Marshall beat Notre Dame. Marshall has like 3 or 4 losses. Like all of these big upset teams who went and knocked somebody off, none of them were good.
Game day was at App State the following week, and they barely, wasn't it like on a Hail Mary that they beat? I want to say Troy, So yeah, they had the emotional letdown. I don't know how much truth is to that, like the adrenaline dump or the emotional dump of knocking off a big program. But
they started off so hot they hosted game day. Let's not forget.
This is wild.
Now they lost to Texas State.
The Cats.
That's a fallback to reality, isn't it?
Man, if you've never been to San Marcos on a nice September or October night and heard the train go by as like the fourth quarter starts, ooh, baby. It brings back shades of Barrick Neely in the D1 AA playoffs, which
Also,
we should have won, but
also waking up at 3:30 in the morning to change the flag or put the flag up in front of the frat house.
Yeah,
while the train was going and no one else in the whole town was awake.
Or just getting the shit kicked out of me by some guy who was like a 6th-year senior
with
for no reason.
Just a big old wad of Copenhagen in his lip,
just stomping me out because he had issues.
But obviously, we only bring that up because as a podcast that definitely supports the transitive rights of college football, I think it's worth noting that what A&M almost did on Saturday and coming close to beating Alabama with their backup, that probably would have led to way more celebration of Jimbo than would have ever been deserved. And I'm glad that he lost. Well, I don't hate Jimbo, but it's a train wreck.
Let me ask you guys this. Dylan's a big moral victories guy. We learned that a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Moral victory for the Aggies? Question.
I saw some like A&M beat writer talk about how Texas A&M is like the 3rd youngest team in college football.
A lot to look forward to,
of
Aggies
course,
Nation.
Implying that losing to a team like Alabama as such a young team means a very bright future is ahead. And there might be something to that, but I've seen some moral victories being thrown around. And, sometimes when you come off a 5-7 season like the Longhorns did last year, a nice moral victory against a team like Alabama, I think is acceptable at times. I do owe somewhat of an apology to Haynes King, the quarterback for A&M. I've been dragging him nonstop, talking about how terrible he is. And he is terrible.
Okay.
But he threw a couple touchdown passes. And
this doesn't seem like a real apology.
He deserves credit for scoring.
Yeah, I don't know if this apology deserves a touchdown.
He's bad.
That's how that apology differs from Tater Tots.
Pass is so good they deserve a touchdown. No, that makes too much sense.
Let's go ahead and get into it. What I saw the fellas rendezvous Saturday morning, 11 o'clock kick for the Red River rivalry. Have you guys heard about the State Fair, Texas?
Man,
actually deep fry Oreos.
I call it the shootout still.
They deep fried butter, KJ. Deep fried butter, and it's actually really good. It just tastes like buttery batter.
Intern Callie went to the game, and she told me, I was like, I need a rundown of all the food you ate. And she gave it to me. It was fried ice cream, fried Oreo, corn dog, of course, things of that nature. And I was just like, you know what? You did it.
I've had fried pizza, the fried butter. I've had a fried PB&J, which was outstanding. They'll fry a shoe if you hand it to them. Whatever you want, they'll fry it.
A fried UGG.
I love the fair. Love the fair. Love
too.
Fair food talk. I don't think that people outside of the state of Texas realize like 95% of those vendors just drive to the next state fair, and it's the same shit every year.
Oh, is it really?
Like it's not always unique to Texas. Like the ones that win each year, like they give away those awards and they put them on the map. Like they usually debut their hot shit at Texas. So, there's some benefit.
Yeah. But I don't know if this is something that only is relatable to us, but we got fair tickets. We had a fair day. We got the day off of school. And I mean, pretty much like K through 12 the entire time. There was fair day, got your tickets. And then, Duncanville gets to go this day. DISD goes on this day. And you just go to the fair instead of going to school. You don't have to go. It's not like they don't take you on like a school bus, but yeah, that's a thing.
It would be today.
Leave us
usually
saltwater
today.
taffy.
Yeah, it's a Monday. Saltwater
Columbus
taffy.
Day is whatever.
49.
Yeah, it's also the day that you're most likely to see high schoolers fighting each other at the fair now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Texas OU, 11 a.m. kick. It was over by 11:15, I think. No, actually, first series, actually, Texas was, I believe, 3-0. But then it was just on from then on out. Unbelievable performance by Texas. I did not see that coming. I was pretty confident, especially when it was announced that OU's starting quarterback would not play. The Texas would win pretty easily, but I could not have predicted a shutout and 49 points being hung on the board.
Yeah, I think Dylan Gabriel, he's fine. And he definitely does not win that game for OU. Maybe he puts a couple touchdowns on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, this game was, when I saw that Quinn was playing, I was like, this is going to be a blowout. I didn't call 49-0 or anything, but I thought a double-digit win was definitely going to happen, just because he's that good. And he backed up the 12 minutes he played against Alabama, and then some. I thought they left him in too long. When did they finally take him out? Beginning of the fourth?
I don't think he played much of the fourth quarter. Yeah, I mean, I expected him to be pretty rusty. I mean, like I said last week, the dude has played literally like 5 quarters of football since his junior year of high school before this game. Very little football. But my God, he can absolutely sling it.
He had one bad throw. He was trying to throw it away off his back foot, got picked. It was the easiest pick that kid will ever have. But other than that, he was awesome. He throws across his body. It's insane. Like, I'm not a Texas fan, but he is so fun to watch. Texas, outside of like the TCU game, I think hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself here.
They have
I got to
Oklahoma
respect
State
Okie State.
in Stillwater.
That's in okay.
In Stillwater. It is an afternoon kick, which might help a bit. So the TCU game, which will be there, Fort Worth?
Thumbs down.
I think it's
from
in
our
Fort Worth.
Correspondent in Madison.
And then that game in Stillwater are going to be challenging. But the conference is there for the taking if Texas plays well here on out. I think Quinn Ewers just gives everyone a little lift.
He's good enough to beat any of those teams.
Yeah.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh, is this
November 19th? Kansas Jayhawks, assuming their quarterback stays healthy that entire game against TCU, they probably find a way to eke out a win. I'm not saying that to just crap all over TCU. I just think on the road at Kansas, if they don't drop like 2 or 3 games between now and then and just like give up on the year, that's a team that has shown that they can, show up and deliver.
The Kansas backup filled in admirably. That kid's good too.
So Jalen Daniels is out 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh,
is that official?
I saw that on Twitter.
No,
a couple hours ago. I think he's out 4 to 6 weeks, which he'll probably be back by the Texas game. But that I feel terrible for Kansas. That really changes the dynamic of an incredible season that they were putting together. That sucks big time. I don't know how
game day screwed them.
I don't know how good they're
going
to be without him.
Dumb.
Quarterback play in college football is so vital to your team. So we'll see. That sucks.
Any credit deserved to go toward the Horned Frogs? Max Dugan, KJ. What are your thoughts on him as a quarterback?
Congratulations to that young man. I won't speak ill of him personally.
He's a gamer. Big gamer type.
I won't celebrate that team at all, but I will say this. It's been admirable of what they've done so far. It did show, I think, the amount that Texas beat Oklahoma by And again, TCU played them without Dylan Gabriel for the bulk of that game as well. I would say that it's not a fluke that Oklahoma looked that bad without their starting quarterback. Back to Dylan's point about like how critical your QB is. I do find it a little strange that we still have teams finding themselves like completely ass out without their starter in the day and age of college football like today. Not that you have the ability to like keep multiple quarterbacks happy, but if you're in Oklahoma, if you're, you know, who is Alabama, who comes to mind, like your team shouldn't look so much worse when you turn around and you've got Texas. Hudson Card is not whatever the backup for Dylan Gabriel is. But next year, theoretically, they're going to have Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers on a roster, you know, and that's kind of a singular experience, but it shouldn't be the drop off from Dylan Gabriel to whatever the hell it was that Oklahoma's run out there 2 weeks in a row. That just shocks me.
Oklahoma had 39 yards passing on Saturday.
That's not great.
39 yards passing.
Not every team can have a Cooper Rush, guys. To tie that into a future seg.
We'll get there.
Back to Quinn. I've never had a man crush like this on a football player since Vince for sure, but that was such a long time ago I can barely remember it.
You were just a wee lad.
The dude he's so legit with the football in his hands. It's unbelievable. I fucking love it.
Does he make your pants hard?
He makes my pants a little stiff. A little
Jesus.
bit.
So what would be a disappointment for the remainder of the season? You've got number 8 Oklahoma State. You've got undefeated still Kansas State, Kansas, and Baylor, and TCU. Whatever.
Kansas State has a loss.
We already talked about the schedule. Oh, they do?
Yeah, they lost to Tulane, right?
I believe I said after the loss to Texas Tech, I said 7-5 would be like an acceptable season for Texas. Then they handle West Virginia pretty handily, and then of course they absolutely destroy Oklahoma 49-0. Most importantly, though, the offense just looks completely different with Quinn Ewers playing. I think 9-3, so one more loss, I think would be an excellent season. If they lose to either, Oklahoma State or TCU, one of those could definitely happen. Going to Stillwater concerns me. 9-3 would be an excellent season. 8-4, I'd be pretty happy with that, but it also feels like this team is just a little different now, and that might just be the Texas fan in me talking, but the way that the offense looked and the way Quinn Ewers looked the other day, it made me think that the whole team was just going to be better because of like the hope that he brings. I mean, it's corny, I get it.
Am I not giving enough credit to the Pokes? Okie State?
No.
Because
they haven't played, like they are the epitome of haven't played anybody yet, but they still have a lot of talent. So it's hard to say.
Spencer Sanders looks good. He looks better than he has. He's hold on to the ball. They rolled into Waco. I don't know how good this Baylor team is. But they struggled at home against Tech.
Right.
I don't know. So it's just, I was watching that game and I'm trying to figure out, like, dude, am I not giving them credit? Or I don't know. They're the Big 12. That's their current, their best hope, right? Because obviously they're undefeated. But it's weird because I saw people. I heard Greg McElroy during the Texas OU game saying the Big 12 might be the best conference, like top to bottom. And it's just that debate because, you might have a lot of one-loss teams. Is that because, is it parity? What is it? And I don't really know what the Big 12 is. And a lot of that has to do with the best quarterback has only played 4 quarters, Quinn Ewers. And OU, the perennial powerhouse, this is the worst OU team in how long? Yep. A long, long, long time.
It's the deepest conference.
I'm
not ready to say it's the best, but it's the deepest conference. Like the 5th best team in the Big 12 is like a pretty good football team.
Yeah, I think
best team in the Big 10 or SEC is probably not as good as the 5th best team in the Big 12.
I think that's fair. I think what's really boning them is that K-State lost to Tulane. Because K-State.
Yeah, and I'm looking back at Oklahoma State. I'm sorry to talk over you there. I said hadn't played anybody. You were right. They have played Tech and Baylor, and I wasn't trying to insult them. But Oklahoma State's issue is that opening game, they played Central Michigan like 52-44, 52-48 or something like that. And that probably soured people on what they were going to look like for the rest of the year. I would like to point to, not to cold pizza take, PTI this. In terms of best division, we were talking conference at large, but best division, the Big Ten East, home to undefeated Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State right now, is looking pretty salty. And I don't think anybody's going to question Ohio State. Michigan proved themselves last year. Penn State is like that reliable 9-win, 10-win team. I feel like probably by the end of this year, that would be a stout competition, at least on the top end. Now, I don't think anybody's going to say the other half of the conference when Illinois is leading the Big Ten West, like there's any discussion there. Same thing with the Pac-12. Like, I don't think any of us are going to be out here riding for, I don't know, the rest of the Pac-12 beyond Utah and Washington State and UCLA and USC. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm glad you brought that up because I clearly did not respect UCLA. I thought that was a easy dub, not an easy dub. I thought it was a dub for Utah. I thought it set up USC Utah next week, a big, huge game in the Pac-12, and it's still going to be a big game. But yeah, UCLA handled business, and they finally is that a signature win? I'm going to use that as many times as I possibly can. But in the era of what's his name, Chip Kelly.
It's probably his best victory. Certainly the team's best start. Again, the theme being he's got a quarterback who's been there for 3 years. I have also been out on Haynes King since I saw him. I didn't watch it in person, but saw him win the state title. Cried like nobody's business because his dad's the head coach. It was a beautiful moment, but it was like an 11 on a scale of 10 of sports crying going on. I was like, oh man, I'm not even like masculinity uncomfortable. It's just like a lot of crying going on here. And I don't know if you saw at the end of the game the other day against Alabama, but like the dude lost it then. So I just figured maybe he's not ready for that stage.
We're talking Haynes King?
Haynes King, and he performed. But he's the kind of quarterback like UCLA's quarterback where 3 years in, if he's starting there 2.5 years from now, whatever, like that guy's, a Heisman candidate, unquestionable. Like I think he's that level talent if you let him sit in a system for that long. But I don't know if he'll get to.
Well, hopefully he doesn't follow Dylan on Twitter.
If he does, he unfollowed a few weeks ago.
I hope he unfollowed you.
Can I do a quick
yes
delve into my this week in rankings are the worst?
Please do.
At home, in your car, at your office, wherever you might be. Of course, follow all the rules of the road and whatnot, but take a moment and look over the most recent rankings that were released yesterday, AP or coaches, and you will not find a team that has lost 3 times in the last 2 years by a combined total less than 8 points amongst those 3 losses altogether, like a 2-point loss, 3-point loss, 3-point loss, whatever. Undefeated this year, not ranked. Quarterback has been there for the last 2 years, not ranked. And that would be Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Makes no sense. Rank the Chanticleers. I will not insert the rest of the words that I've added to the rundown.
Right. Yeah, that's fine.
You jerks, it says.
I'm looking at their schedule. What's their signature win, KJ? Is it Buffalo? A nice 38-26 takedown of the Bison.
It's them being 6-0 in the midst of Hurricane Ian hitting the eastern coast, eastern seaboard. So
Forcefield.
I respect all survivors of natural events.
You know what? I co-sign that. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. Look. Hey, okay. I support that.
They beat Louisiana Monroe, Old Dominion,
Dogs,
Gardner-Webb. Anyone? Does anybody know where Gardner-Webb is on the map? You don't. Buffalo and Georgia State.
I want to guess New Hampshire.
Those are their 5 wins. No, wait. 6 wins. They also played Georgia Southern.
Coming up, we're going to have a showdown with App State, who is a puzzling team, as we've learned. And then also James Madison,
at the end of the year.
who is ranked.
JMU is good.
JMU
and they
is
are ranked.
good,
That's what bugs me. JMU does not have a better win than they do. And again, we know my complaint on the top end of the rankings is that you get credit for something you did last year. They seem to be getting none of that. 6 games into the year, they should have been thrown the bone of being 25th team by now.
To clarify,
That's all I got to
They
say.
hadn't yet played Old Dominion before someone corrects me on Twitter.
Oh, yeah,
that
they're on
is,
the 12th.
is this weekend.
That would be a really embarrassing mistake to make.
I know.
I want to find out where Gardner Webb is, but yeah, let's carry on.
Carry on. What did we miss? What was the dust up with Jackson State with Dion and the other coach? Did you see that? That was weird.
The other coach is son of historical Grambling, I should say. The late, great Eddie Robinson, longtime coach of Grambling. They tried. Dion went to do your post-game handshake, but kind of went in for the hug afterwards. Eddie Robinson brushed him off, and when asked about it afterwards, he said that he ain't SWAC, which is the name of the conference. And I think there's a lot of sentiment about Dion in the SWAC conference historically. HBCUs fill out the conference that he's kind of doing it all for himself and not so much for the pub. And I would probably just argue, but it's helping you, isn't it? And leave it at that. Gardner Webb, Boiling Springs, North Carolina.
Oh,
I'll allow anyone to guess east or west there. I have no idea.
man, I was going to say that.
Boiling Springs.
Boiling Springs.
Far southwest.
Where the springs boil. You guys got anything else on college football?
I do not.
TCU. Kind of undefeated. I'm just saying.
TCU Oklahoma State this weekend. We'll talk about it.
Oh,
That's-
that's a big one.
Or,
This is
or do you have any comment on it?
No. No, I think where is it? Is it in Fort Worth?
Funky Town.
It's in that place.
Eamon Carter. Yeah, I like, I don't know. We'll preview it Thursday night on the live stream, 6:30 Central, only on YouTube, the Too Much Dip
the
YouTube.
YouTubes.
Check us out.
You want to talk Roback for a sec?
Let's just shout out our good friends at Roback.
Listen, you all know about Roback. We've been talking about them for years. We love Roback. Performance tees, the best polos out there. The hoodies are fantastic. QZ season is upon us.
Dude.
They released shorts recently.
Joggers.
Joggers too. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot about the joggers. They're doing everything now. We love Roback. You will too if you haven't already tried it out. Backer20. The promo code Backer20 will get you 20% off at checkout. It is a one-time use code, so load that card up.
Load it up.
Um,
Those herringbone QZs are hitting.
Yeah, they do be hitting. This year specifically, KJ.
Halloween and what do you call them, herringbone?
And tater tots.
Something about those herringbone QZs do be hitting.
That's right.
Matt Rule got fired.
I only bumped this to the top of the list as I missed last week, and as I was checking the rundown, somebody apparently felt strongly that Matt Rule should have been fired. So congratulations. I'm assuming that was you.
We were sitting here earlier in the bullpen talking about Matt Rule, and Dave said, I think he gets fired next week. 5 minutes later, it hits the TL. Schefter and Rappaport, I think.
Rappaport first.
Rappaport beat him by like literally 1 second, I think.
Yes, but Shefty had a lot of
Yeah.
unnecessary detail.
He
in his
used more
tweet.
characters.
He just described like stuff that's like not really groundbreaking facts. Like he was there for 4 years or something. He was like, okay, dude.
Does Matt Rule become
size
the
11.
hottest name in college football coaching search / rumors?
Yes,
I think so too.
he is proven. He did it at Temple. What he did, I trying to not be a homer here, but what he did at Baylor's
In a very short amount of time.
in a short amount of time, in
Which got him the job in Carolina.
winning like 1 or 2 games his first year, and this is post scandal, and getting the guys to buy in, getting the guys who didn't want to be there out, and then losing to OU in the Big 12 championship game. It's insane. That being said, I have a fun fact about his contract. If or when he finds a new college gig, his salary there will deduct from the $40 million that is owed to him by the Carolina Panthers.
It will deduct.
Yes. So the
So he'll be an
Panthers
analyst.
the Panthers can deduct that from what they owe him.
What if he finds another NFL job?
Per this Twitter account, this is Spotrack. This is Michael Giannitti. We all know him, of course. KJ Nods.
Spotrack's reliable. No, Spotrack is the go-to.
Okay, good. I need to. I'll hit him with that follow.
As it stands, he's owed $40 million. Is that correct?
He's eating. The whole family. This is what we call generational wealth. He's doing good.
Damn.
Yeesh.
So his first, like, if he were to be hired, let's say Nebraska hires him, right? Just throwing that out there. He doesn't care what his dollar figure is because he's making to make the same amount either way.
Yes,
right?
because it was a 7-year deal, and it's not like like poor performance isn't always a for cause thing in NFL coaches' contracts. At least not like in that initial term, and they gave him 7 years out of the gate, which is the big difference between what most coaches will get, like a 3-year deal up until John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, when they did like 7 or 10 for them. Like most coaching hires were 3 or 5 years right out of the gate.
I can't say that I follow the Panthers that closely, but I do follow a lot of Panthers fans, and I've seen them bitching about him for last 2 years. And I think his legacy will be the quarterback debacle. I mean, it never made sense what they gave up to get Darnold. They get Darnold in there, and that fails. And they go after Baker, and I mean,
Worst QBR in the league.
It's bad. It's bad.
They did all of that while, like in the beginning, they had Teddy Bridgewater to start with, right?
They had also his quarterback at Temple, PJ
Johnson.
PJ Tucker.
Oh, he plays basketball.
It's a different sport.
Finally, somebody.
That was an honest mistake. I'm sorry.
I would have made the same one.
They brought Cam back last year. No one really talks about that. That was weird as hell.
He was terrible.
He was bad. I mean, it was just a debacle, and I didn't think he would. I didn't think he'd get got this early in the season. I thought they would at least be like flirting with 500 team, but oof.
He's in a bad division. I don't think he's the kind of coach that endears himself well, not because he's unlikable. He's not like a red ass or anything, but he's the kind of coach that needs to be with bad young teams. And he went about building that team in a manner that like doesn't allow for that to happen. Going after him, trying to make a quarterback splash early on is not the way like to buy yourself time. You're just using up resources too early on. Like the Jets were bad enough to where Robert Saleh walked into having a high round pick. The Panthers were never going to get to that point if you go and trade for like a middling quarterback. You had to do it because you have Christian McCaffrey, but the other factor here is they had brand new leadership or brand new ownership, which I think Nathaniel Hackett in Denver is going to be on the short list to be gone sooner than he otherwise would have. And this is his first year. I don't think he's going to be gone like mid-year, but I don't see him staying past this point next year if things don't change. Russ or no Russ, whatever the problem is, I think he's going to be in the same bucket as Matt Rule.
Oh, yeah. I forgot the Thursday night game was just.
There were 2 bad games last week. SMU played midweek, and then freaking that Thursday night game was just miserable.
Yeah, the Broncos. That Broncos game.
What an absolute shit game.
Broncos Seahawks. No. It was so bad. Who do they even fucking play?
No, they played the Colts.
Broncos. Oh my god.
With no Jonathan Taylor.
The Matt Ryan was somehow worse. I don't know. I don't even know.
We got a good meme out of it though. His teammate staring at him on the sideline, drinking out of the Gatorade bottle. Just look at him like you fucking.
They don't. I mean, it's not just like it's not just conjecture. Like they don't like him.
Oh, I know.
And that's a problem. And I guess
when that last fourth down play, when he had a teammate that was wide open or a receiver wide open, and he just didn't see him.
Hamler.
That dude just took his helmet off and just slammed it down, like just absolutely fed up.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon is the center of that meme. Wisconsin Bads are great. Notably was also in Vegas, not during our trip, but the trip I made the following weekend. And he very politely just kind of waited for me to finish out on the blackjack table before sitting down and like would have embarrassingly out bought in like whatever I was sitting there playing with. I was
Man.
like, oh, you can have a seat. And I didn't see who it was.
You
It just
playing
felt
high
presence.
limit?
Yeah.
Here's a chair. And he sits down like, he's like, no, go ahead and finish up. I'm like, all right. I, again, didn't make eye contact. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'm whittling down here. I get up and walk away from the table. I look back over my shoulder. I'm like, fucking Melvin Gordon. He just sat down with no less than like 10 black chips or whatever, like over $3,000 worth of chips. Like just being like, yeah, whatever.
Was
Remember-
it like a $5 table or what?
Remember former Cleveland
Midday
Cavalier
Cosmo.
Damon Jones? I think that's his name.
Uh-huh.
I was at the Bellagio one time, and he was at a craps table, just playing craps, not a big deal. I was like, oh, Damon Jones, that's cool. I come back a year later. He's at the same craps table, wearing the exact same outfit. Surely he like went home and changed. I'm not saying he stayed there the whole time.
He was on a heater.
He had a favorite spot at his casino, and he was dressed. He had like red athletic shorts on and the same like black shirt. It was pretty funny. Same exact spot a year later.
That's bizarre.
It's like
Love that sort of spins us right into the next couple because do we want to look at Kyler's fit?
Throw it up, Randy. Yeah, we do. We need to talk about Kyler's fit. We need to talk about Kyler. Speaking of quarterbacks whose teams may not really like him. Okay. This is what we have here is a retro lime green suit. What do you even, I mean, that is a suit, but I don't
double-breasted. It was like looked like bell bottom. I mean, he's going for 70s vibes here.
I just don't think he's that guy, pal.
He's not. I saw a lot of people
he
saying that
looks
OU
like,
took 2 L's this weekend.
No.
Maybe not fair. I didn't say it.
I think
Just being-
he looks like the lime version of Lil Sweet from the Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper commercials.
Okay.
It looks like he went into, Prince's closet, dipped it in some lime dye and said, okay, this is what I'm rocking today.
I saw the
I can't talk, but geez, man.
Yeah, this ain't it.
I saw an NFL memes account say that he dresses like Hillary Clinton, of the Clinton crime family. And
Okay.
I just don't know that I've ever seen Hill Dog rock something quite like this, but I can't take it off. It's blinding my eyes. I need to see KJ again. That is one of the most uncomfortable photos.
It's a trash outfit.
It's so he just doesn't look comfortable. It's like a publicist or something was like, no. We're gonna make a statement today.
It's like he stepped out and is like, I feel like I bricked this, but I don't want to go back and change. I'm just gonna go with it.
It's me wearing my new Jordans into the office the first day. I'm just like, okay,
I hope the boys like it.
here we go. Oh man,
I just wish I could see Kyler and not see Chrissy Teigen face every time I see him.
Oh,
So
wow.
it just wrecks
Really?
anything that I see. I don't know why, just the face.
Ooh.
It's kind of smushed in there. All right, that's rude. I didn't say that.
Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown.
Yep.
Justin Tucker, former Longhorn great.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arguably the greatest NFL Longhorn in history. Greatest career in professional sports.
Calm down.
In football. Who's had a better? Which Longhorn? Earl Campbell?
Derek Johnson.
Good career.
Priest
one of the
Holmes,
best
Jamal
fumble
Charles,
moves of all time.
Fine.
Earl Campbell.
All good careers. Could any of them be the GOAT at their position?
He is the GOAT at his position.
He's easily
Absolutely.
he's the greatest Westlake Chaparral.
What about Big Dick Nick?
Fair. We know. Look,
No, the answer is Drew Brees. To be fair,
it says here
Okay.
on the. It says here on the rundown, Justin Tucker's BDE. KJ, I think you put this one in. What is that? I'm not familiar.
The dude is incredible to watch. Like, there aren't many kickers that I give two shits about, really. Besides the fact that, like, you're not expecting him to just go out there and just Sebastian Janikowski it. Like, oh, man, I hope they attempt from 67 this time. Like, you watch Justin Tucker and you're like, I wonder if this might not be directly down the middle. Like he's long, accurate, and then kind of talks shit after his kicks a little bit. He pulled like the Abby Wambach look where, kind of throws out his arms and was like, yeah, motherfucker, of course.
He struts around. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
He's so sick.
Yeah. It's tight. I hope he retires before he gets to like the wobbly like part of his career where he starts missing some chippies and it's like, what do you do with him? I want to remember him as just a great kicker all around.
He had a
no
pretty
yips.
Entertaining post-game interview. Talk about he said his holder, obviously like the placeholder. What do they call him?
Eric Holder. He
said he had a game-winning hold.
Fast and Furious.
It was pretty funny. Also,
that's good.
Justin Tucker also has the voice of an angel, if you're unaware. He's an opera singer, too.
Who was the Cowboy O-lineman? Gerard? There was a
Andre Gerard.
Andre Gerard, who was also an opera singer. That's interesting. Which makes more sense for a larger feller. Justin Tucker, I don't know how big he is. How big is he? Give me his measurements. Guess right now. I'll look it up.
He's 6'1", 182 pounds. What you got, Dave?
He is 6'1".
I'm the height guy.
I, too, am looking for like the weight side. 183.
I'm the height guy.
Okay. Well, good for him.
This motherfucker, he had his page pulled up. That was way too accurate.
Pulled up?
No, I don't.
Get out of here. He's the goat.
But yeah, Justin Tucker, enjoyable to watch. Now, for the moment that we've been putting off, we definitely at least need to say the Bills are exceptionally good, scary good. Josh Allen having like 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first half, good. Like, unquestionably number one in the NFL as a team until something changes. Now, can Micah Parsons change any team in the NFL to can he improve a win total by two or more in any team in the league?
Oh,
can Micah Parsons?
Wow.
Because I think a lot of Cooper Rush talk is occurring, and it should all be Micah Parsons talk plus more Micah Parsons talk.
And McCarthy talk.
And McCarthy, he's managed it well.
Kellen Moore too. I mean, you got to, if you're going to be critical of those guys when the Cowboys are meh, you got to give them a little bit of props. But Dan Quinn, the DC as well. I mean, I don't know how unprecedented it is to take someone at his size and position and make them an edge rusher and move them around and have them in that many spots on the field. But Dan Quinn saw it and did it, wasn't scared to do it, and he's an absolute game wrecker. He's the best defensive player in the league. I don't think there's really much of Aaron Donald's awesome still, but Micah Parsons is a freak, and the fact that he tweaked his groin yesterday and was coming in and just played through it and was still just blowing dudes off the line.
Gross.
I did that once in college. They let me run scout team.
No, he's just so fast, so quick, and so strong. It's so much fun watching him play. 2 sacks yesterday.
Did you watch? How much of that game did you watch, KJ?
Not enough. I saw the last quarter, so I don't know how the game was controlled.
Blocked punt.
I did see the guy. Yeah, I did see the guy tweak his sack in the London game, but I guess I didn't see this one.
Oh. Me marbles.
Here we go.
Is what they would say over there. That's how they talk.
Regarding Micah Parsons and Dan Quinn, I'm looking back at the career of Vic Beasley, former Clemson great, first-round draft pick. He was drafted by the Falcons, I believe, when Dan Quinn was the coach. Maybe he was there the next year for his first year. But Vic Beasley had 15.5 sacks one year. Later in the career, 4, 15.5, 5, 5, 8. And I only bring him up because he was a very similar prospect as far as coming out of college, like at linebacker end, who knows, but then was really used as a pass rush specialist, played a little bit with the Titans. So I want to say maybe that gave Quinn some insight to what he could do with Micah, but I don't know. In my head, I've just been putting it off, like accepting that some of the legendary level talk about Micah Parsons, like it might not be too soon. He's not Lawrence Taylor. I don't know how many teenage girls he knows. So he's got some time to like be up there with the greats. But as of now, he's an exceptional pass rusher.
Wow.
And so far a better person.
All that good analysis that legitimately is helpful. Just to set up one little shot at LT. People do
he's
forget.
Like back in the media. We just like give people free entree back to like doing commercials and shit. I'm like, okay, this is weird. When's Warren Sapp coming back?
Oh, indeed. Yeah, Cowboys are. It's just one of the most insane Cowboys teams I've ever watched because it goes without saying, like nobody expected this, but like the defense, you're like, oh, they were really good last year. Hopefully, if they could just stay about where they were, they can be competitive. But the Eagles got really good, and nobody thought I didn't really hear anybody say this is actually going to be a better defensive team because they let Randy Gregory. They couldn't keep him. They tried, I believe, but he ends up in Denver. And you're wondering, like, what else can they do? And now, like, their secondary looks really good after, they've always kind of struggled with the safety position in the last, I don't know.
Do you remember how down
years.
on this team we were after week 1?
Everybody was.
I mean, Dak got hurt. The offense looked terrible. They lost the game, obviously. I think the only, like, redeeming thing we said was, like lost in how badly they looked. It was like the defense looked pretty good.
Held them to, like, 1 touchdown.
Yeah. And they did look really good, but no one cared because the offense looked terrible and they lost the game. It was like, oh, we're
3 points.
We're in for a long season.
Hopefully
we can get 5 wins out of the season, whatever. And now the defense is playing so well. Cooper Rush is playing well enough.
It'll make me question everything if they go into Philly on Sunday night and win.
Gallup is back making plays.
Dude, Gallup's back. Tony Pollard had a sick touchdown.
Yes.
Zeke looks good. He's not worth whatever they're paying him, but he looked good. He looks good. He's not hurting them, and he's way better in pass protection than Tony Pollard, who allowed Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey to just get a free shot on Cooper Rush. But Matt Stafford was getting lit up yesterday, dude. DeMarcus Lawrence had the fumble recovery touchdown. It was just a beatdown, man.
It's weird seeing, like, you watch these games and you like try to balance like, okay, well, how good is this other team? Is a bad quarterback, it's a bad line. Like, hell, they've played Burrow, they've played Daniel Jones isn't great, Carson Wentz isn't great, but Jones is serviceable enough to like keep his team in it if you have no quarterback, and that's what happened. Stafford is a good quarterback, and they made all of those offensive lines look like they had never played together before. And that's just exceptional. I don't know if the tackle that's like 6'7", the rugby player who Jordan, I don't know how to say it. I don't know his last name off the top of my head, but he was a New Zealand rugby player that the Eagles took a flyer on in the 7th round. Turns out they've got a starting tackle out of it, like tremendous get. He was out last week for the Eagles, or this past week. Like if he's back, this is going to be like the clearest expectation of like, we're playing a run first team who's shown success of controlling the offensive line. And if they make them look like that,
elite,
wake me when they start playing the Bills. Cause that's the only obstacle I see.
We got an early line on that game.
It's a little early to start doing that.
I know a guy.
Game is Sunday night, dude.
I like to start doing cocaine. I'm like almost a week before a game starts.
You think that's what that dude you saw at the casino a year later? He'd just been on a serious.
It's like, hey
bender.
man, you got to go home, man.
Like, dude, you have not showered. Eagles, you haven't changed.
I'm gonna look up
favored by 5
betting. What is it?
According to DraftKings Sportsbook, Eagles favored by 5.
Ooh.
Okay.
And if that doesn't get you excited about what to talk about Thursday night, we have Bills Chiefs next weekend.
Oh, yes.
We have Vikings Dolphins might be interesting. Maybe we'll spend all weekend or all Thursday night on the Monday night football game between the Broncos and the Chargers, because the Broncos are getting another prime time game.
It's just more.
Wait, what?
Russ has got to be like, dude, stop putting me in prime time. I'm just getting smoked online. I'm getting memed into oblivion. I'm getting multiple memes during the game.
I'm just happy that, like, I mean, obviously I've been talking
Your ground floor anti-Russ.
I've been talking trash on Russ. His corniness is it makes me cringe so hard. I'm just happy that everyone else gets to see it too. You know, not that I'm the only one who's noticed it, but like now everyone gets to see it.
Oh, look at this guy.
You know, it's like expose this guy.
Yeah, it's fine.
He's so corny.
Talk baseball.
He's so corny, man.
Dude, I've watched some baseball. I'm watching some baseball at the bar. Division series are set. Look,
let's go Mets.
This is tough. My Padres are playing my Dodgers, and look, kind of a house divided, or I guess a human divided. Me being the human. Alyssa doesn't really have a dog in the fight here.
I didn't know that you were a Padres or a Dodgers.
I'm a Joe Musgrove guy. I've liked him since he was on the Astros. He's just a big, tall dude, and after they substance checked him and he just went out there and was throwing nasty stuff, he fucking shot the Mets to wipe their nose, man. That's disrespectful as hell.
Is he just doing the things that all the kids are doing now?
There's a Kenny, okay, one of two ways. He's either like listening to a lot of Young Thug and doing that one.
That's more likely.
Or he's doing the Kenny Powers. Because Kenny Powers famously wiped his nose. Different, but still looks dope either way.
I thought maybe he's doing like the thing that CD does after a first down.
That's it.
Okay.
And I don't think I thought you weren't allowed to do it anymore. I don't know, but whatever. That was tight. And Padres Dodgers will be fun. Watched a little bit of the Mariners. We were watching some of that here. That Luis Castillo.
It's a fun team. Oh yeah.
That dude's nasty. That dude's real nasty.
Rodriguez.
And I should Mariners, divisional foe, I shouldn't care. But what is this? Their first playoff series in 20 years? Really fun team.
Since early Ichiro, right?
I'm throwing out baseball stuff, and I would help it. I would love it if somebody could back me up on what I'm saying. I'm kind of looking to you because you're the baseball guy.
I should know more on this. I famously start to watch when playoffs start, as regular season baseball does very little for me.
Which they have.
Yes, they have. So I will start to pay attention.
I'm right at that point as well. I will say this, all in on the Mariners, not just because they're playing the Astros and, whatever, still salty about that. The Astros are still heavily favored in that series. But I really liked the Blue Jays. I think I mentioned this early on in the year and, later last year. They were a fun team, and watching the Mariners dismantle that team, even though the Mariners have been hot and cold and, getting runs this year, coming back from being down 9, closing out a series like that, always great to see. It would be so much more fun if we could have Juan Soto and his name is escaping me, suspended for PEDs, not Manny Machado, but
Tatis Jr.
In that series. I will also put the over-under at 0.75 for fans in the ICU during this series. I don't know. I'll take the over.
What are you saying?
My last every time the Dodgers,
it's LA,
Padres,
dude,
and or San Fran. You give me a combination of those three, I feel like we get a fan meme situation involved here.
We had a Cowboys Rams fight in LA yesterday, and it's the worst fight I've ever seen. It had so
much help yielded.
Just why are their floors so slick? No one could stand up. Dudes weren't even landing, and they were just falling down. And then it took a guy with an oversized foam cowboy hat to come over and break it up. Just, dude, it was the worst. I'm watching it. I'm like, oh shit, this is about to be. Oh, okay. One of the worst Twitter fights I've ever seen.
You got to think there's a facilities person somewhere like, you know what? That might work. Maybe we'll have fans stop beating the shit out of each other if we just get a little more lacquer going. I don't even know if that's what they put on concrete.
Was it like
whatever.
that's the Turd Ferguson foam one?
Yeah. Okay. It was the Cowboys version. It was blue.
Love that.
It was phenomenal.
I wish it was a wrecking ball one of those obnoxious, round helmet ones. Lastly, I would be very happy if the Phillies and the Cardinals, retroactively speaking, announced that the loser of that series, one of them had to come up with a better uniform and or never wear white and red and in gray and red. Because every time I checked in on that series, I'm too old man to like sit down and figure out what the hell is going on.
No,
Braves are going to win the East most likely, or the National League. So whatever.
So I'm looking.
There's my baseball talk.
No, that's good. I'm trying to figure out if we're going to get a Castillo Verlander game 1, and I don't think Castillo's. I think he's game 2. I think he's not out. I don't think he can play.
I guess yeah. They're tomorrow, and he pitched yesterday.
Okay,
right? Or pitched Saturday. Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're right.
That's fine. Still a sexy series. I'll still pay attention. I promise.
Still all in. Shout out to Aaron Judge. I wasn't here for that to be discussed.
Weren't you saying that that's the real home run record? That's kind of your thing.
Absolutely not.
62 in Acktown.
Yeah. My only
Rangers.
thought when I saw that home run was it was very nice of the Rangers fans to do a quick to pay homage.
No.
To give attention to the fan that once tried to catch a foul ball from Josh Hamilton in the old stadium and then didn't make it home that day by the fan jumping over the fence when that was hit.
I hate
locked into history.
I hate that story.
It is a terrible.
Why do you hate it?
The guy who died?
Statue right outside the stadium.
Yeah, he died. It was like Josh Hamilton tried to toss him the ball and he reached down to get it and flipped over the thing and I'm assuming landed on his head.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
It was that era of Rangers baseball is bizarre on many levels, and most of the things have to do with Josh Hamilton.
So he fell like between the fence and the
he found it. Yeah,
okay.
Where the guy, as KJ shoehorned in his reference, jumped down thinking he'd get a ricochet and he would get the ball and.
No, I saw that.
Yeah.
I forgot about the Josh Hamilton thing. My God.
Yeah, he preemptively jumped and it triggered me. So that's what I'm trying to say.
KJ, you're not alone. That I thought about that too. But on that note, shall we party?
Yeah.
It's the sports party. Jordan Poole and Draymond. Cleanest punch you've ever seen in a basketball game.
Draymond is such a punk, man. He's just a bully. He's a punk. He argues every single whistle. I can't stand the guy. And Jordan Poole didn't. I don't know what he said. He called him like a triple single or something.
Was that real? I couldn't
know.
tell if that was like a fake quote because if he did call him a triple single,
that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. The Warriors they just won a title. They're in the middle, like they're. It's insane. And now Draymond's stepping away.
For a week.
You got to think about things, come back. That was, I don't know what went on there, but I'm sure we know this, like fights happen in practice. But how the video got leaked to TMZ, somebody should lose their job. That's fireable, right? You can't do that.
That's pretty sorry.
I think
somebody got paid too.
Yeah, I think that's shitty. Just as shitty as Aaron Rodgers finding a way to make himself a headline by talking shit about his own team after every single week. So under the category of what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room, Aaron Rodgers, potential or perpetual violator. Somebody on this staff also should be gone. I need to listen to audio of how to pronounce this gentleman's name.
Go ahead, though.
I don't know.
Wembanyama.
There we go. Thank you.
I said that way too confidently. I don't know.
It sounded perfect.
Where did this guy come from?
If you watched any...
I know France. I know, but like, why am I just now hearing his name? 2 weeks ago, I had no idea who this guy was. Now it's all everyone's talking about.
He is.
He's 18. I looked it up. That's probably why. He just hit the scene. But my gosh.
Yeah, he's like he looks awesome, and he's got the build, the KP thing though. KP, the Chet thing, he's 7'2". I don't know. He's listed at 7'2", 209 pounds. He's 18 again, but I don't know if that body style holds up to how he plays. But he's going to be really, really sick for somebody for a little bit.
Someone released a picture of him like stretching, and he was shoeless while he was doing it, and it showed his feet. He wears a 20.5, by the way. Guys with feet that big, like the Yao Ming thing.
What about him?
They have a hard time keeping their feet healthy.
There you go.
They lost because of their feet.
Like really?
Yeah, his toes actually in the shot. His toe is like stretching into this shot of this episode right now. Like, if you look real closely, like that man's toe.
It's
wrapping
unreal.
around the world and tapping me on the shoulder.
It's like
it
as
is
big
absurd.
as our new wash sign behind Dave's head. That's about how big one of his feet is.
He's a large lad, and he's got a lot of promise, but
stay healthy, please. I want to watch this guy ball. He's unbelievable.
Well, you might be able to watch him quite a bit because the odds on favorite to tank and/or have that first overall pick. The Becky Hammond-led San Antonio Spurs.
Oh. Okay.
That's my best guess.
Will Pop be around for that? Will he stick around to coach this guy? Probably not.
He'll, he named his heir.
That's true.
He's just still living.
And then last one, I added this one. Kind of some breaking news in the world of golf. Liv might add a cut. Maybe I don't know if it's just at this next week's event, but they're trying to get them world golf ranking points, and they've failed in other avenues. So they're going to add a cut, and it's the ongoing Twitter joke is just like, oh, dude, poor Pat Perez. You know, all these guys who joined to play less golf, spend more time with their family, and now there's a cut involved. So it's like, oh, shit, I actually have to I can't go out and shoot 80 and still get the bag.
This headline says, rumor Live Golf Tour ready to introduce cuts and expand to 72 holes. Wasn't 54 like one of the main selling points of the
Yes. It was In
fact, Live is named after its Roman numeral for 54. So surely they can't expand to 72 holes.
That's embarrassing.
Really thought it was a Chubb salad thing.
Ooh. Shout out to Liv Langdon. Shout out to all the Chubb salads out there. Anyway, that's the party. Unless you guys got anything else you want to talk about at the sports party we're doing here.
Nothing else to party on, Dave.
Tom Kim is him.
No,
Tom Kim is him.
I don't know, man. You want to run it back? It's a shorty today.
Let's
run it back.
Let's do something real quick.
Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown.
Let's run it back.
Actually, my first running back. Of course, running back is the segment during which we talk about what we already talked about. The first one says, Sonic Tots are so good, they deserve a touchdown. Non-spawn, by the way. Cool Adam was right. Halloween do be hitting. Haynes King, noted ugly crier and ugly thrower of the football.
All right.
Micah Parsons hurt his groin, but was still blowing dudes off the line.
You ever done that? You ever hurt your groin?
I've tweaked it, yeah.
I bet you have.
I was tweaking off that 2CB.
Really? You had a drug-induced strain of your groin.
Well, it made me very active. I was just, bouncing off.
You didn't know your limits.
Right. Someone added me marbles. Not sure what that means or who added it.
Somebody tore their sack in London, KJ said. So say it in like a way Yale Brit would say it.
Me marbles.
They told me marbles.
That's Irish.
Yeah, no.
I don't know why I went to Irish on that.
It's,
How do you do it? Say it with a British accent.
Me marbles, me
marbles.
lord. I tore them.
It's like Victorian era.
Yeah, it's old school.
KJ remembers that fan who died catching a toss from Rangers great Josh Hamilton.
Yes, he did.
That concludes Run It Back.
Is there anything else we could run it back on? So that's not how we close.
Quinn, yours is really good.
Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown.
Yep.
They deserve a touchdown.
What does that mean?
Dude, all right. New losing dip picks. You have to go to Sonic, and you have to order Tots so good they deserve a touchdown.
Like he wrote his own script here. Surely this isn't copy that Sonic sent him.
No, as someone who looks at a lot of copy from agencies and brands,
Tots so good.
They did not come up with that.
They deserve it. Give them 6 points. They deserve that touchdown.
Just give them go for 2. Let's get 8. The book says go for 2 here. Anyway,
it's definitely up there with Have a Happy Football.
Have a happy football.
Our office party. By the way, have I sent KJ an invitation to that? I'm not sure I have. He'll probably be in Wisconsin. Our office party is during Texas Oklahoma State. We'll just have the TV on. Is what I'm saying.
Ooh, I don't know if I want to be around you because when your team wins the big game, it's good. But when your team doesn't win the big game,
you better look out.
Buster.
You're
a loose cannon. Not good at all. KJ, thank you.
You're the man, KJ.
Randy, as always, pleasure.
That's what I meant to do. I did that backwards. My brain's too fucking old to be able to keep up.
We will see y'all Thursday.
Bye-bye.
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them dips.
Tots so good, they deserve a touchdown.